are now about to witness.
What it do, what it do, what it do. What's up, fam? Welcome to the Mark Wiggins Off the Bench Live Birthday Edition. Meaning it's my birthday and it's my edition. A little bit different than I normally do. It's been a couple of years since I've had my Off the Bench Live Birthday Edition, where I bring in speakers and friends from all over to come and share their talents on my stage to just give back. I think, the last part I did was a couple of years ago. I was on a yacht last year. You know, had to mix it up a little bit, do something different. It was time for a break. You know what I'm saying? You've done 5 or 6 of these things, and it's a lot of work, a lot of planning. And you get to the point where, like, I really want to enjoy my birthday. So last year, I enjoyed my birthday. I did a whole lot of extra on the birthday last year for the double nickel, and now we're hitting the 5-6. I don't know what you do for the 5-6, but whatever it is for the 5-6, I'm doing it and have been doing it since the beginning of the year. As you know, I don't just do birthday on one day. So it's really the whole month. And as I get older, it may be the whole half a year. And can get too old and doggone it is the whole year. I'm celebrating all year long. So if you miss saying happy birthday, don't worry about it. You have until the 31st before I start talking about you. And for those who already wish me happy birthday, thank you so much. It does a lot. The phone's been blowing. The timeline's been blowing. Everybody's tapping in and wishing happy birthday. Folks I haven't heard from in a while, but we know you out there. And thank you to Facebook for allowing people just to, if you're just paying attention, you shouldn't miss anybody's birthday. Let's be clear. So we thank you for that. And it's always a good thing to have people chap in and say that they are thinking about you and whatnot. And, it does mean a lot. Just that little, even just send the standard happy birthday that they got on Facebook is more, sometimes, unfortunately, more than the nicest comments that people get in a whole day. And you don't know what anyone's going through, what they're dealing with. So just be kind. And I want to thank everybody who took a hot second to send me a birthday wish. It's all great and gravy. You see across the bottom of the screen, the offthebenchmagazine.com. The April-May issue is out. It drops today. If you're a subscriber, you should have that magazine right now. You saw in the trailer the last, what the cover is. It's me and my new suit. That was a whole exercise getting that suit. And we'll talk more about that in a minute because I wore that thing to the red carpet event in Detroit, which, if you've been following on Instagram on OTB Magazine, I've been putting out, and on the line of Facebook, I've been putting out the interviews that were done. But we'll get back to that in a minute. I put out a call to have people come on and join me if they dare to come on the stage and talk to me. And without fail, there's one person that I know ain't never scared. Never scared. As many times as I've been on her platform, and as long as we've been doing this magazine thing, I have never had her on my show. She's like, oh, Mark, I don't know if I want to come on or not. Well, unfortunately, you don't get that opportunity no more. What's up, Marisa?
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you so much, darling. How you doing? How's things down the way?
Oh, it is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I had to get myself together for you.
Listen, you're the only person I know will be together at an 8 o'clock meeting on Zoom. I mean, you just all the way talking about I can't work unless I get dressed up. I don't understand how that works.
Listen, you got to represent, right?
Absolutely. So, Marisa, not you on. Tell everybody about the impetus for the Brainchild, because I'm part of the OTB Own It family. It's part of OTB Magazine. It's part of that. Talk about how that started for you.
Well, listen, you know how we met.
Right.
I was driving you. I don't know which platform it was on, whether it was Uber or Lyft, and I really was really trying to focus on finishing my PhD. Now, the magazine concept was in existence in 2015.
Hmm.
And I was doing it as part of a conference, a personal, professional, and business development conference that I was having annually. And I just wanted something to put in the hands of my participants. And when I searched around for partners, any kind of organizations that I had partnered with, purchased things from, and things like that, and they said to me, everything is digital now. And I said, that's great, but I wanted something printed in their hands during my conference. So I ended up designing my own magazine. No
Hmm.
training, no, just I had the audacity to say, I want this. And if they're not going to provide it, I'm going to figure it out. And then in 2020, I decided to take the annual magazine and make it a monthly issue. And it just took off. I mean, it took off. And this time, I was able to do it in digital format. So initially, Own It magazine was TCS, Take Center Stage. It started off as Take Center Stage. It
Hmm.
evolved into Own It 5 years later, and I was able to take it from a print copy because it originally was a print copy, and then I took it in 2020 as a digital copy.
Right. Every time I tell our story, it just sounds so shady on the startup. I was in an Uber and there was a lady and we started chopping it up. Okay, no, for real, for real.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Listen, you know what? I, I still have to finish my PhD, but I knew, I always liked working for myself. So in the mid 2000s, from 2000, I want to say it's from 97 to about 2007, I had worked for myself doing interior decorating, and I held my license as a real estate agent. And
Hmm.
so I always enjoyed working for myself, and I decided to go back to work, close out my business, go back to work, and get my PhD. I didn't start off saying, "Oh, I want to go back and get a degree." I knew I wanted my PhD. And so I started off with an associate's. I didn't have any degree at all when I had launched my first business. And so I started with my associates, and I got my degree in general psychology. And then my master's is in industrial organizational psychology. So when you begin to think about operating in a corporation at a high level, you're coming in with a master's degree, working on your doctorate's degree, and in my area of expertise is change management, organizational development, and leadership development. Well, guess what? That's going to take a lot of my time.
Hmm.
And I wanted to focus on what was next for me. And what was next for me was continuing to work for myself. And I knew if I took a full time position, that was not going to allow me the room to finish my degree and also to launch my next business. When you work for corporations at that level, you spending 60. I used to, so with Uber and Lyft, I was making 85,000 a year.
Right.
And my passengers would say, "Well, if you're making very good money, you're driving." And I was like, "Yeah, just think about it. If you're working for a corporation, right? If you're working for a company and you're making close to six figures or six figures, you're giving that company 60, 70 hours of your week. I don't know anyone who's working at that level who is not working those hours. So, but guess what? The difference between me and working in a corporate position and working with an app is I can turn that app off whenever I feel like it. I don't have any other meetings to go to. I ain't got to ask anybody permission. I can turn it off. So my strategy was to drive Uber and Lyft and make that kind of money so that I can go back to building my business and finishing my degrees. And that's what I did. I still got to finish that PhD, but I only have 5 classes left. We'll see what happens with that.
I know that's right, bro. I tell you what, you may get you're gonna get there, but if you keep having these international conferences, which I had to miss, and I'll make if you do it again next year, I definitely try to plan to be there. But my schedule was such.
Yeah, but you were doing some major things though.
Girl, listen, I'm gonna talk about it a little later, but it was definitely off the chain and great opportunities and more to come down the road. Got some notifications today on some stuff, so I'm excited about that. But Maurice, our first one again, thank you for reaching back out and having me get on the magazine and to just advertise and come back and say have your own. And when that call came, working with my speakers, I needed another platform. I needed another place for them to work on their message. My only thought was really about them and their message. It really wasn't about how can I get out here and do these things. I didn't want to be on the cover. You know, if it wasn't for my EA kicking me out here, so I'm gonna get on the cover and flex. I'm like, I don't want to do this cover, and of course I had to get on the cover. And then became like, okay, I need to be on all the covers. But anyway, I wanted to be Oprah. I was joking.
Yeah, so, there you go. You're launching.
Right. So I put it out there. So, but then, here are 3 issues later, 3 years, 3 years in, and the stories have come in and contents come in with modifications and whatnot. It's still a great tool. It's still a great way to get people's messages out there. You get different looks when you say you have your own magazine, which is what you said. Well, you tell people you got a magazine, look at it. Used to be like, oh, I got a book. Like, well, everybody got a book, but everybody don't have a magazine. So now it's different story, different space, but it still, again, it adds to the whole story, the narrative. And without it, I wouldn't be able to share what I'm doing in this new platform, which is now driving the rest of it. People are responding, and I appreciate you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, thank you for dropping in. I know you got things to do, and I don't know, there's no more editing of the big book that came out that we were #1 seller on, but now, what are you doing with your free time? Because you were editing every night.
Oh, yeah. Listen, what my free time is on the next project. You always got to have your next lined up.
True that.
You always got to have your next lined up. So I'm excited about that project.
All right. Well, I will follow up on your request and get you the information that you asked for today, and we will talk to you soon.
Yes. You take care. Happy birthday.
Thank you, love. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's what you're doing tonight. Hopefully more people want to chime in and see what's going on. I see. What's up, Nick Hayden? I see you out there. Coming to the stage. A friend of mine who's actually in the April-May issue here. He well, you know what? I don't do intros and bios. What's up, Jay? What up, Coach?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Getting ready for these final 2 regular season games.
I saw the post. How's you guys looking this year?
We're okay, man. We had a number of injuries, number of bad injuries, but we're in position to play first round at home. Depending how this weekend goes, and getting ready for playoffs, brother.
All right, well, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. Like I said, Jeremy is in this issue. I went out and did a spot up on him and his team, the Virginia Bulls. Is that right?
Nova.
Because I say Nova. I got these no bull shoes right now. I have to be careful. Nova Bulls, not my no bull shoes I be wearing. But anyway, Jay, frat brother of mine, Kappa Psi Fraternity Incorporated, was up, former polemarch of the Woodbridge chapter, and he and I served as polemarchs at the same time, so we are in the same class. We have developed a great friendship over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Only another polemarch can understand what you're going through, and trying to lead a bunch of type A overachiever educated black men is not an easy task. So, but anyway, so what's popping? Have you so school's over for you, and what are you doing this summer? What's going on this summer?
Well, I'll tell you what, brother. Outside of trying to just travel and get out a little bit, getting ready for the first year of professional basketball. So this year we're semi-professional, right?
Okay.
Meaning, the guys aren't paid. It's that kind of beginner level. But beginning next fall, we are moving into a professional league.
Oh, awesome!
And so higher, the stakes are a little bit higher. The exposure is higher.
Mm-hmm.
And so this summer, it's prepping for that. It's prepping for, the forming the team, because there's no guarantee that I'm gonna take this whole team to the next level, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's preparing for that. It's preparing for just the new, new atmosphere that we're about to walk into, the new season that we're about to walk into, on the court and off the court.
Bet. Jay, while I got you on the phone, it's like you are in practice right quick. I need your feedback and insight on Ja.
Oh, let me get outside for this.
Huh? Yeah,
Let me
go outside
let
to
me
your
get in the
hair.
hallway for this. Look, man. I mean, I'm a firm believer in you when you run with we have the wrong circle around you, um, and you allow them to kind of influence what you were doing. You'll find yourself in a lot of trouble. I mean, he's an eagle, right? He's an eagle, and I don't know his people. I don't know who he's with, but there seem to be a lot of chickens that he's hanging around, and he's flying with them. They don't have as much to lose as he does.
Mm-mm.
Now let me go to the other side and say he's 23 years old. He's going to make some dumbass mistakes. Can I say that on this line? He's going to make some stupid mistakes. You know
Right.
what I mean? Right. And at, at the end of the day, there has to come a point where do I want my career or do I want to just be out here hanging out in the club?
Right. I heard an interesting thing today, and I agree with you 100%. Um, I think who said this? Chris Bouchard, other frat brother, right, on his talk show, made a very, very, very interesting point, and he does a lot of work in the community with young black men and whatnot. He says that he finds it interesting that white America sees nothing wrong with it, right? Oh, there's nothing wrong. He didn't break any laws, which he hasn't broken any laws, as I know more of, as reporting. And they think it's no big deal because, they're all about the gun. Hey, have your gun, do your thing. He contrasts that with what Black America does and how people are going ham because what we see is you about to mess it up for somebody else.
Oh,
That we don't get the wink nod, go ahead, no matter, just boys be boys things. Black people don't get that. Black athletes don't get it. Black superstars don't get that.
No.
And because we are so worried about him, rightly so, his mental health and whatever, we also worry about the opportunity for the next Northern Virginia Bull opportunity to get to the league, and they may look at him differently now because he had, he's a licensed carrier. Who knows? But we were more concerned about the optic for them and everyone else. But white America's like, well, I don't see no big deal about it. It was a big deal, especially how that story goes. And I thought that was a very interesting narrative on our community, which is 100% true. We don't want to see anybody do poorly. We don't see anybody squander an opportunity, which is nothing you were saying that black folks were saying is that, bro, you blowing it. You lost 40 mil. 40 because you didn't make the team because you missed too many games. And you still out here clowning?
You're about to lose more.
You already lost one contract. Nike is the most liberal hang-on company around. The Nike rolls, he'll be wearing Pro Kids. So it's just, I don't know what. And I just hope that they, I'm the suspensions and stuff are cool, but if 40 million didn't move you.
Right. I mean, I say he's 23, but he's playing a grown man game. You know what I mean? And his dad tried to come to his aid. He said, that's on me. I should have. No, T. That's not on you. He's 23. He's grown.
He's grown. Because he told you he was grown. Right. He told you he was grown. But you can't be, running. But Jay, all the stuff that was adding up. You run into the mall, allegedly, defending your mama, allegedly. You scrapping little kids in the back of your house, allegedly. What are you doing? But the biggest, I've been tracking the story, and it's always someone bigger and badder than you. And when the Gangland speaks out, look, when Gangland get airtime, basically sending him a warning, like, and their own way, they're trying to say, bruh, again, black community, you about to lose up and you about to cross a line that you don't really want to cross, right? You really don't want to come this way.
You're not that life.
But if you do, pull up. Like, we're going to give you an opportunity. You want to pull up. You don't want it.
You're not about that life.
Right. And that's just one color. The other color is saying, oh, we're going to get that dude. You don't know. You in Memphis. This is not what you want. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of appreciated that they said what they said.
Yeah.
But they mean what they said. You know what I'm saying? They mean, they say you owe us. And now you're going to have to pay fees so you don't get beat down. They're going to take your money one way or the other, bro. What you going to do? So
they're going to get you.
He needs to back out real fast, real quick, and stop playing.
Well, you know what, though? The thing, like, he comes from, two-parent household, right? I don't believe he was brought up in that life. But you find, and brother, I'm out here in Northern Virginia, and you got a lot of these little kids out here trying to be that, acting like they're trying to be that life, trying to be a life that they're really not.
Mm-mm.
And he's playing a game. He's playing a grown man game. I'm not even talking about basketball. He's playing
Right.
a grown man game. And like you just said, them grown men saying, little boy, this ain't you. But if you're trying to make it you, come on. Let's see what you really got. You know what I mean? And he's gonna blow it. He's gonna blow his chance. He might blow. He's not. I don't think it'll blow somebody else's chance, but he's blowing his chance, and he's hurting the brand. He's hurting his brand. He's
Mm-hmm.
hurting. He's hurting the NBA brand a little bit too. You know what I
Yep.
mean? He's hurting. He's hurting so many different levels.
Yeah, right. They're already upset. They got too many black folks holding high positions. They can't recycle enough white coaches, so they're not recycling black coach. You notice that too? It used to be they're recycling the old white coaches all the time. Now black coaches are starting to get recycled because that's all that's out here. But then here comes Phoenix talking about they want to bring back what's his name?
I
Dan
missed that.
Tony. Dan Tony. They Dan Tony, the dude from Milwaukee just got fired, which he's Dan Tony. Why are we trying to go get Dan Tony? It doesn't make sense to me.
For what? Why'd you let Monty go? Why'd you let Monty go?
See, that was
I understand Doc.
Listen, man, Doc is. He said he had 2 years retired. He had about 2 minutes, and he was retired because he needed to sit down. I'm sorry, I love Dr. Dale. You got your ring, but bro, you cannot. Now, color aside, you cannot win the big games.
No.
Whatever reason.
No.
Whatever reason, you just need to go back to commentating where you were and be okay. Be with it. Go start a camp or something.
Doc getting out coached. He gets out coached.
I don't think he's even coaching, bro.
I mean, part of it is because the inmates are running the asylum. The inmates running the asylum. Which game is it? Game 6 or 7 when your supposed MVP doesn't even get the ball in the last 4 minutes of the game? At what point do you call a timeout and tighten them up on that? Can he get a touch? At some point, you got to do that. Inmates cannot run the asylum. So for all the NBA teams out there, give me about 2 years. We just not going pro. Give me about 2 years. Let me tighten myself up on the pro level.
And then
go be on that Dan Tony stuff.
That was good in the 80s when the run and gun, no defense. But bro, it's much like with Doc. He's not changed to the new consumer.
No.
He over here is still running, a chicken sandwich, and we've got chicken parlay, Parmesan cheese, buffalo, and he still got one thing. You are not Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A does one thing and one thing well. But guess what? They don't get all the customers all the time. I need some variety. And this new athlete, this new Gen Xer, this new millennial, wherever they are at this point, we X, they millennial, they ain't hearing it.
No.
They coming up making more money than you. You know what I'm saying? They coming in with, they've made more money than you in high school and college, and you did your whole coaching career.
Already.
So
NIL.
And you listen, Doc got a ring, and then that used to be the standard. Oh, he got a ring, they're gonna listen. They're not listening to him.
No.
They're not listening
you
to
gotta
him.
relate to them. You gotta relate to them.
His message is falling on deaf ears. Like he's not modifying his tactics. No. His fundamentals are probably sound. His philosophy and gameplay is probably strong, but his tactical delivery is whack. So therefore, he's rendered ineffective.
Time for new blood.
But they got it, and but people keep flipping hiring him. Let's just end that. Let's stop hiring him.
But anyway. Did he already get hired? Did he already get one of the open jobs?
I hope not. No. The Boston coach got Houston. Ujami, whatever his name is. He got
Oh yeah. I think about that.
He could coach. He just got a little sidetrack. He just
had a moment. He's a man. It happened.
But he wasn't married. But you know what I'm saying.
Hey, I'm leaving that alone. Nia Long's man, right?
It's the shit.
Shout out to Love Jones,
1997. I'm 56. You can't be smashing the owner's wife. I don't care what she's saying. I don't care.
I'm not condoning.
I'm not condoning the behavior either, but I'm not gonna let you slay the man like he was in a full-blown marriage.
Hey man, you gonna jump on the owner's wife, and you got Nia Long sitting at home.
They said, well, there's a reason how the Barry ain't married. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Love Jones. Go back to Love Jones.
All right, Coach. I'm gonna let you go, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, brother. I appreciate you, man. Let's get together soon.
Absolutely. And break a leg good luck this weekend. Next time you play. And I'm definitely gonna follow up with you this summer. Let's talk some
You
more.
come through on Sunday.
You're playing down you down in Gainesville?
We in Gainesville Sunday. You come on through. We're in DC on Saturday.
Oh, what?
At UDC.
I'm tied up on Saturday. Sunday may be a possibility, although I'm not overly welcome in Gainesville right now.
Well, let's connect, brother. We'll talk about that offline.
Fine, new. Yo.
No.
All right, man. This is what we're doing all night. I had Coach on, the do-over coach. I think she she fell off and she better trying to get back on. What's up, Christopher Ware? OH. Dr. Davis in the house. I'm gonna coach my boy Nick Hayden is watching. What's up, Nick? So anyway, that's what we're talking about. I'm waiting for the do-over coach to get on. When she comes back on, we will jump back in to talk about it. So anyway, I want to really, move into the NBA KD and John Morant discussion right quick. Jeremy kind of talked about it a little bit. I want to talk about KD. I want to talk about how he gets a pass on being a passive leader. He got a pass. No one talks about he has destroyed 2 whole teams, wanting out, wanting to be his own man, wanting to be whatever, and he's just not that dude. And what I'm gonna set it up first. I'm about to lace him out, and then I'm about to defend him on the other side. The problem with this is he's not a leader. He's not a leader. He can score. He's a great shot. His high efficiency rate, and for a 7-footer, it's amazing. They about to draft the dude who's 7'4". It's supposed to be sweeter than him. All right, this is what they're gonna do right now. He's 7'4". What you gonna do with that? So he's okay. He's scoring this in the third. He didn't get as much heat as LeBron got for leaving Cleveland. He left, went to the team that beat him in the finals. Like he stole something, and then went 2 rings. Couldn't take the heat. Got called a couple of words, and decides he wants his own unit and goes to Brooklyn with a blown out Achilles, and still got top dollar. And they still waited for him. He didn't play but 35 games, and I overstate. It was probably about 25, and it was just the worst. This is disastrous. And no one really blasted him because he's such a great talent, because he's a generational talent, because he's winning. He's got, he's a made man, all that kind of good stuff, but he's not a leader. But then when you crucify the leader for being a leader, he cocky and he trying to take over, and it's LeBron this, and he put this team together. LeBron's man enough to take the heat and still deliver. Where hasn't he delivered a ring wherever he's been? All 3 places got rings. So that part bothers me. And what really bothers me is that KD was, instead of criticizing him for destroying the team, what they say is he's the kind of player, this is really offhanded comment. He's the kind of player that you can just drop in anywhere and he'll fit into any system. That's not a great characteristic for a leader. They're saying the same thing about Deion. They didn't say you can drop Deion in any system and he gonna fit. Deion came in and destroyed the system, fired people, kicked people out, and built the system that he wants. That's what leadership does. You come in and you set up like you're supposed to do it so it works for you, since you are supposed to be the lead dog. He wants to, defer his leadership and authority to Booker, and CP3 broke down. He wants to defer. He wanted this. He wants the easy ride. Well, I submit, if you wanted the easy ride, you'd be 4 or 5 rings in had you stayed with the Warriors. There was no beat. Look at him now. There's no beating that team. He don't play no defense, though. But he doesn't get a pass for that. So now let me defend him. I get it. Everybody's not a leader. And because he's not a leader, he didn't try to act like one. But unfortunately for him, that's the expectation. Since you the top, this, that, third, and the other, they expect you to do that, and it's really unfair. So I think he should just came out and said, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to be a captain. I'm just a role player. KD is a role player. If you don't like it, get at me in the chats. Nick, what you got to say in the chats over there? You're mighty quiet. Chris, what you got to say? What you got to say about KD being a role player? I said what I said. Because if he was a true leader, that last game, you would have taken over the game, give me the ball, I'm jumping in, and we're going down me gunning. That's what LeBron does. That's what Jordan did. Bird, Magic, Isaiah, run them. D-Wade, run them. KD, Kobe, run them. Everybody except for KD. He didn't jump out there and grab the lead and want to take over and take the shots. He's just a role player. And there's nothing wrong with being a role player. We need people to be employees. You gotta have somebody who's going to be, everybody can't be the chief. So anyway, I'm done with my rant on KD and Giles. We spoke on it. Yeah, brother needs some support. I think there's a bigger issue there. I don't know if it's substance or bad judgment. I'm not going to put it on 23 because it's a 23. That's a disservice to those who are 23 that are making some amazing things happen in this earth at 23. So we're not going to say just because they're young. The Bible says, do not despise me because of my youth, right? He's getting the job done. He's making money. He's the man. He's making bad decisions and being influenced by something or someone's who don't have his best interest at heart. And, hopefully we can keep him lifted, that he gets it together, because there might not be a next time. And we cannot be mad at the league. They're throwing the black people out. Well, when you do it to yourself, we can't be mad at that. We cannot be mad. The league is protecting its brand overall. And yet he has another chance because of his talent. So hopefully that he will heed the message that came from the streets, literally from the streets. I read that article. Bro was not playing with him. He was not playing. He said it. You ain't about this life. You really don't want it. So stay over there unless you really want to. Then we can talk. But you owe us. You gonna owe me for that. How do you get to jump up and say he owe him for something? He just said you're gonna owe it and probably gonna get it. So now what? Are you paying extortion money? I mean, he opened himself up to that life, and that's just not a good look. So all you youth coaches out there, keep an eye on your young players. Remember, I used to speak for PCA about 10 years all over the country, talking to coaches and players about a different way to do things. And somewhere along the line, he got a little too much of himself, and it's gonna come back to haunt him. It's really gonna come back to haunt him. So that's just not a good thing. Anyway, let's see here. What's going on the Facebook side? My chat. Christopher, Kyrie, yeah, Chris, I'm behind on the chat. If you said this, Kyrie is the same way. He is not a leader. He is not a leader. He destroyed, tried to be his own man, and then I'll give him credit though. After he was rocking 65 points a game in Cleveland and winning nothing, goes and wins with LeBron, and I want my own team. Goes to Boston and destroyed Boston. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had what's his name on the team now? Boston. Shoot. Anyway, he there now lighted it up. he lit up the other day for 51. You know what I'm talking about. I think he was there. And he recognized that leadership is not for the faint of heart. He's not for the faint of heart. So he had to basically tell LeBron, I get it now. I get what you were trying to say. I didn't get it then. I was young. No, you were just ignorant and didn't want to listen. You too could have had a multiple of rings had you just listened a little bit. And you heard it here third. Don't be surprised if he shows up on the Lakers next year. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. He's been trying to get that way for a minute. But I think, LeBron may be the one to get him back in step. Old man Winter is catching up to LeBron. Winter is coming, but, he's still going to do his thing. So, anyway, that was up. What's up, Brother Dorsey? Hey, Sandra Lindsay, what's happening? Appreciate you timing in on the birthday live edition of Off the Bench with me, Mark Wiggins. It is I. Let's see. We talked about KD. So let's talk about Detroit and the Masterpiece Sound Studio cover song contest. If you've been following along on Facebook and Instagram, you have seen a bunch of posts, a bunch of videos, a bunch of interviews with some Motown legends and some performers that were in this cover song contest. I'll give you a little backdrop. Masterpiece Sound Studio is owned by the Moy family. And Celeste Moy, who lives here in Northern Virginia, is one of the key components who runs the family business. Their sister, Sylvia Moy, was the songwriter for Motown. She was the first Black female writer for Motown and had quite a career writing songs. She wrote, as reported, 150 songs for Motown. She started her own sound studio, her own production studio, and her own label, and wrote another 200 songs. I didn't understand the power that the songwriter willed until I took this journey out to Detroit. Without the songwriters, there are no hit songs. Kanye was producing before he started rapping. Alicia Keys has written several songs. Babyface writing hits still that we didn't know he had written. Prince, they still get royalties off of that, right? They asked me the simple question: who makes the most money off of a song? The immediate answer: the performer. They're like, nah, not at all. And then she broke it all the way down, and it was the songwriter, 5%, whatever it was, but over life. As long as that song is played, they may stop singing and performing. But that money still comes to the writer. So over time, because I can write more songs than you can sing, it makes sense. Like I can produce more beats than you can actually write to. So it makes sense. So they're talking about having that skill set of being a writer and writing and producing your own music and things like that. And the same thing, I guess, would be in the movie industry. You're writing and producing. That there's something involved with that. I didn't know how deep it was until I got here to this event. So the whole contest, which was nationwide, had over, I think, maybe about 100 people or so submit. They got it down to 11. They could not get it to 10. That's how tight it was. They had Motown people listen to the music and get these groups down to a strong 10 to come to Detroit for the finals. And it was not an easy task. So they had to bring in Sony Music to get the last 10 in and help with the finding the talent. Anyway, so I got to see all this background, and to be asked to be on the red carpet to co-host, because Omar Gooding was the main host, and to be in that space, I was like, yo, this is an opportunity that I didn't know was coming, right? We talked about my word of the year, undefer. I told you I was going to undefer the speaker man. He's got to come back, right? Because I put him off to the side a little bit. So this was a great opportunity for me. So I was told, I said, well, what do you want me to do? When the fan was like, do what you do best. I was like, are you sure you want me to do that? Like, do what you do best. I said, okay, great. Come and do interviews. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And so like, you're going to be talking to this person, this person, this person. Who? Really? Oh, my God. So imagine me sitting down talking to the first lady of Motown and asking questions. I'm still trying to download that doggone video. It's massive. So once I get it down, I'll get it out. And to hear their stories, to hear their tenacity, to hear the vision, to hear their passion for songs that were, written in the 60s. Who was that told me? Claudette Robinson said she stopped touring with the Miracles in like 62, 3. I was like, I just turned, you didn't tour that whole time. She said she still sung in the studio, but didn't tour. She stopped touring almost, 55, 56 years ago, 57 years ago. Okay, call it smooth 60. And so, but she's still talking about Motown. And to have that conversation was amazing. And if you know what I like the journey of stuff. I like the journey. How did you get here? How did you get over? What did you do? So going to the practice session was amazing. Watching people work it out, breaking down the band, stopping the music, trying to harmonize, trying to get together. And it just went boom, boom. And it didn't take a long time. Each person it's probably like 7-8 minutes, some a little longer, but just to see them do that was amazing. And then to sit back and watch them put it all together for Showtime was again phenomenal. So it opened up a whole bunch of opportunities. They are going to get the final mix down, ready to go, and one of the streaming channels is in negotiations to show the whole event, including interviews. So hopefully your boy will be on the stream channel. And of course, when I know, you will know when that drops, so you can go and watch it and support it. It's a good show. People are banging for it to happen again. They're like, when's registration for next year? Now, Sister Moy was like, I'm gonna need at least a year to come back and whatever. They were like, no, we got to start now for next year. So hopefully that'll be something that'll be ongoing. I can continue to participate in that. And again, it opens the door for a lot of things for me on this end. So Masterpiece Sound Studio cover song contest. And when you see it online, again, just like it for me, share it, comment. I'm going to keep these numbers up on these interviews. People responding. Omar is like responding to my post and liking stuff. I'm tagging Smokey, Smokey on tour. He in the back room looking on Instagram, seeing what's popping, seeing, his name being tagged, everything. So, who knows where all these people go. I got to hire me some millennial for marketing. It's not my thing. But definitely a great opportunity, and I'm proud of that. So let's see what's happening. Where's Denise? Denise said she's supposed to be getting on here. Let me see where Denise is. Denise, you were on. Hmm. Yeah, I normally don't do that, but it's my birthday. I'll do what I want to do. Anyway, I'm waiting for Denise to get on. She said she can't find the link. I told her where it was so she can come on. Okay, while we're waiting for Denise to come on, she comes on. If not, it is what it is. Let's move on to the word of the year. And hopefully you have been working your word of the year like I have. This one worked a lot on the Woke Wednesdays. It worked really well as far as thoughts of things that I was working on, because it had a lot to do with dealing with stuff that was put to the side for some reason. What did you defer along this journey? Right, during pandemic, a lot of stuff got undeferred. Hobbies, free time, projects. People began to do a lot of DIY projects and stuff they put away because of work, family, whatever reason. They put it to the side and they undeferred it and brought it back, and they're still doing these things. So you see a lot of people on Etsy now putting their stuff up, making stuff, and doing what they need to do. And so undefer is that word. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pause on defer, because you muted, Coach. You muted.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Whew, Jesus, you about to kill my whole show. Like, you gonna come on or not?
Man, look, okay, so like this whole day today was the memorial service for my father-in-law.
Yes.
And so the unthinkable happened. One of my brother-in-laws actually passed out and had a seizure as we were entering the funeral home, and he busted his head. And so but thanks be to God, they took him to the hospital. One of the cousins went with him, and he's released, and he's back here at the hotel with the rest of us, and he's very alert. He doesn't remember anything, but he's okay. He's okay.
All right, we'll keep that lifted in prayer on Off the Bench family out here. That is, that's not good. So, yeah,
but I could not let my coach's birthday go by without saying to the entire universe of anybody that is under the sound of my voice, sorry for the whole hotel background and stuff, but everybody has their own personal Mark Wiggins story, but I have my own personal Mark Wiggins book. I can write a book. And in this book, the chapters would be called Intention, No BS, Keep Fighting, Stand Strong, Continue Resilience, Authentic at All Times, Igniting Your Fight. Like, so many titles for each chapter in the book concerning my coach, my speaking coach, my speaker man, Mark Wiggins. There is no amount of gratitude that I can say to you. On this day, I honor your mother and father, because they were the vessels that got you here. Because of them, my speaking coach is here in this universe doing what he does. So I honor your parents for that connection, being the vessel to get you here. I honor them even more for grooming you to be Mark Wiggins, the father, the brother, the son, the king, the conduit. That you heard me, Coach. The conduit. Did you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. I see you kind of smooth in there. I love it.
But so many times we run into great people, and great people affect our lives, and we don't think about their journey of getting to where they are, where you see such the magnificent created product, but it came from somewhere. And so I thank you for every opposition that you face. I thank you for anytime somebody said, Mark, you can't, and you turned around and you did. I thank you for all of that because you pour that into me. The little country girl from Tennessee that you met in Nashville, Tennessee, who had never met a professional black speaker until she bumped into this 6'6" Kappa man who was in Nashville for what?
I was in
What?
that
What?
I was for FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So I had never. The most professional speakers that I had been around was pastors, because they are speakers too.
Mhm.
But to meet somebody that's what you do. It's just a part of you. And it's a part of you that you share with me. Early in life, never knew why I could just talk. I could just didn't get nervous. And you helped me to mold that even before I got to know you. I will forever remember telling you, you're gonna be my coach. I just
I was
and
like,
that
and Shirley has been drinking out here in some moonshine. Okay, okay, all right, all right.
but pure intention. We do not know the power of pure intention. I meant that. I didn't know how. I
Mhm.
didn't know anything. I just knew that you drew me in. You pulled me right in. And I knew that you had something to teach me. I just didn't know how or
Mm.
when. And it wasn't 2 or 3 weeks later. It wasn't 3 or 4 months later. It wasn't a year or two later. It was some
Years,
years later.
years. Hmm.
And but you picked me up just like we had just left that conversation the week before. And you teach me all the time. Anytime I see you doing an interview with somebody, that woke Wednesday morning, I be like, oh my God. Like I just appreciate you because it's just not it's as many powerful color people of color that can speak. We're just not in the room like we should be.
Hmm.
But you magnify even when I have conversation with you, I'll be fired up. I just be like, okay, coach, put me in, coach. And I need that. I know me better than anybody on this earth. I know what I do well. I know what I face opposition doing.
Hmm.
I know what energizes me. And one of the key components to my makeup is God just allowed me to need people, a certain type of people. And he gives me those people. And you're one of those roots of people that you allow me to know that it's just beginning. You allow me to know that my journey is important. You allow me to know my voice is for more than just speaking. It's
Hmm.
to touch people. It's to encourage people. It's to tap somebody on the shoulder to say, I know about being in the trenches. I was there not too long ago. And you helped me to know that. And for that, I can't even say thanks enough. I just thank you for being my coach, my teacher. Thank you for being a king in front of my eyes. Thank you for being my friend. Mark Wiggins, the speaker man.
Girl, every time, y'all, every time we on the phone, she just has the words to affirm, right? Everybody needs to be affirmed. You know, where's motivated go get motivated? Well, I usually call it down in Tennessee. So I see, I haven't, whenever we do talk, it's always something, there is a word from the coach over there. No matter what I'm talking about, she has something back. And you can't ever overlook that because, you know, we all need that. And you do an amazing job when I watch you be consistent and come online and talk in the morning and all things you're doing, and now you're showing up in major in newspapers and stuff. You're in the magazines, and you dropping me and dragging me wherever you go, and it's everywhere you go. I hear Mark. How did I get down here? But you know, and I appreciate that too. You know, so much so when I came to speak to your team, I was excited. Like I drove over from Memphis to come over to speak to your team because you asked me to come speak. I could not be in
Yes.
Tennessee, could not be in Tennessee and not come there and speak to your squad and also you know, come see my bestie. But you know, you were part of that plan to come see you and talk to the squad. And again, we only seen each other once or twice on this earth, you know, in real time. It's
Yes.
been years as I watch
Yes.
you and your husband do your thing and grow and your ministry, marriage and roller skates and all that kind of stuff. That stuff matters, and I appreciate you for that. So I do appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. We like I said, we keep your family lifted on prayer time. I'm sure my mama watching. We're praying for this on Saturday. Um, but it is definitely that. And ladies and gentlemen, she also does coach men's basketball. She, like Jeremy, who was on a little earlier, coaches. I guess semi-pro team. I'm not sure.
Semi-pro men's basketball.
Men's basketball team out of the Nashville Music. Was it?
Music City Jazz. I coached them. Well, right currently I'm not coaching, but previously I coached them in the PBA league and the ABA league. And it was nothing but an honor. I'm hoping to do some more coaching stuff in the future with a different league, but I honor the presence of kings, no matter what age, because you guys have not been acknowledged as royalty enough. And so to have young men ages 18 to 35, men look at me and say, "Hey, coach, what we running?" You know, a female in a male dominated arena, that it humbled me because not only did I learn them on the court, but men are not the easiest people to be open, especially about broken hearts and matters of the heart. And for me to be coach on the court, but have gained enough trust from those same young men to say, "Hey, coach, I'm going through something." Because there's not a lot of platforms where you're safe. There's not a lot of spaces where you have the freedom. And when I say you, I'm talking about men of color.
Right.
It's not a lot of safe spaces where you have to fall apart for that moment. And even in your King's conversations, I'm one of your biggest fans, and I will continue to be that. And if I could be considered an advocate for men, it's because I have a 75-year-old father that's a black man. I have a husband that is a black man. I have 4 sons. 3 of them are black men, and one of them is a teenage boy. So he's evolving. And for you to set a stage, a definitely deserved stage for men, for kings to share their stories of relationships, to share their stories of what it's like in their atmosphere of the world, figuring it out. That is an amazing thing. And I believe because of social cultures, many times we as women of color And I don't mean to offend any of my sister queens. I do not mean to do this at all, but I have to speak what's on my heart. We have been so conditioned to be y'all's biggest energy. I mean, be y'all's biggest enemies instead of being your biggest energies.
Mm.
Now, don't get me wrong, relationships, they break up, divorces happen, all of those things happen. I was the poster child of all men are dogs, and that was me. I've been married before. I was that one. I was wounded. I even gave myself the title of being mom and dad. That was me.
Mm-hmm.
And it took my father to love me enough to say, baby girl, I can't take nothing from you. You are a hell of a mother to my grandchildren, but you're not even built correctly to be a father. My dad had to tell me that. And when he told me that, he said it with kindness, gentleness, and love, but it was very stern because he meant that. And it was the truth. And I heard him. I understood what he meant because I didn't grow up with my dad because my mom caused some turbulence in there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we get our feelings hurt, when our hearts get broken, then we bash out some stuff that society already says about the kings. And I just feel like we need to shake those things. We need to support our kings. Our kings need to support the queens.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get these royals back together. And I appreciate you for always putting kings in the forefront of my mind because it helps me being the queen in my household. It helps me to love all of my kings a little bit different.
Listen here, well, I guess we'll wrap it up tonight. You don't put a word out, and the doors are open. Reverend Dorsey, would you come down and pray over the offering for me, please, Reverend Dorsey? Ain't nothing left to do nor say. Coach over here, the do-over coach is here locking it down. But I appreciate you again, sis, for coming on and sharing a few moments of your message. As always, my platform is open for you, and I receive everything you said. And you keep doing what you do, and I'll keep back here pushing like I push, so you can get to where
Yeah.
you need to get to. All right, take
And
care,
we
love. Thank
all going together.
you.
Happy birthday.
All
Peace
right,
out.
peace. See people, that's what I'm saying right there. That's love right there. That's the people you run with. That keeps you going. That makes you move. So I'll go back to what I was talking about. I'm about to wrap it down real quick. It's 10 o'clock. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, it's 10. Anyway, here's the thing about the undefer. Again, your word of the year. And I'll just leave you with a couple of quick thoughts. Use your word to make sure you get what you want out of what you want to do and where you're trying to go. It doesn't matter what people are thinking, it doesn't matter what people are saying. You need to make sure that you are going where you said you wanted to do. You're accountable to yourself. You're accountable for yourself. Everybody else that comes along is either supporting or detracting, and there really there's no dog in the fight for them. We'll root for you, right? We'll support you, but I don't have to stand in the gap while you have to deliver if something doesn't happen. I don't have to do that. I got to be here for the phone call and the message. Or, oh no, so sorry. Oh, hey, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I don't mean it, I don't take that lightly, but I'm really serious with the fact that this is what you have to do. I've had to stand alone and do a lot of different things because that's what I wanted to do. If you got the Woke Wednesday today, I talked about not fitting in, right? Not fitting in anymore because of the things or the mindset and the way that I move doesn't always align with the people that I kick it with. And sometimes it's me and sometimes it's them, but it doesn't take away the love that they have or the support. I just have to recognize we defer that ability and that choice to other people and expect them to tell us to go ahead and go. I wrote a whole book, Permission to Succeed. The only person who needs to give it is you. You don't need to have someone tell you, yes, go ahead and do that. You full grown. I'm 56, damn near 60. I don't need you to tell me what I can do. But sometimes we defer to other people so they can tell us not to do it because it's the easiest thing to do. Well, nobody was going to come along with me, so I guess I won't do it. Oh my God, I've always wanted to. Well, then go do it. Stop relinquishing your power to somebody else. You talk about undeferring your potential, undefer your leadership, undefer your energy, undefer, bring it all back to you. Bring it out. See if it's still relevant. If it's not relevant, then get rid of it. Don't even defer it. Just to say it's a dream gone. It's not even worth it anymore. There's certain dreams and stuff I wanted to do. They're not going to happen right now. It's not going to happen. I don't think they may never happen. And that's okay because they've been replaced by some new ones that I can do, that I probably need to be doing because I don't fit anymore. I've grown, you matured, you got a little bigger, Well, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay. And it's okay for those who cannot come along. Love them where they are. Hey, I holler. You want to come on up? My job is to be support, but I'm not going to be pushing and digging in. I'm not going to want this more than you. I talked about when you're a business owner, no one will ever love what you're doing more than you. Nobody. So you can't expect the people you hire and pay or the vendors you deal with to love what you are doing more than you. So don't be mad when they don't. They can only go so far with that because they got their own things that they love that you don't match up to. So just keep it clear that what you're trying to get done, and as we're getting off this bench, is mid-year now. It's mid-year. We're getting ready to get into the fourth quarters and stuff like that, and there'll be more messaging on that. But reevaluate, reassess. Don't be like Doc Rivers. I couldn't help it. Make some in-game adjustments, doggone it. Make some halftime adjustments. Sit some people down, throw some people in that don't, ain't played all season. They got fresh legs. I need you to use these 6 fouls real quick. Come sit on down. Do something, but just don't let things continue to go because that's what the plan was at first. Or you'd be like Doc with another job on his resume. Still get paid, but he ain't coaching right now. So anyway, that's really all I have for tonight. Looking on the line, I got something to say. What's up, Kelly Bates? Thanks for joining. Kelly Bates is on. Hey, Kelly, what's happening? It's been a great birthday. People, what did you do? Some exciting. Listen. I tend to go low key on my birthday. I just don't want to do anything, and that's enough because I do the most the other 364 days of the year. So I'm gonna take time off for my birthday, and do what I want to do because that's what I'm allowed to do. But I try to do that even more so, and that's the power of undefer. You can do this whenever you want and however you want to do it. I'm going to do it. So with that, I will leave you with this. As always, thank you for the happy birthdays. And if you can reach your dreams with a step ladder, they are probably too low. I'm out. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Peace.